this is a war that is going on, folks. And the question is, if a Vatican priest can see it and start speaking out about it, what is the matter with the people in the general public out there? But things are getting crazier and crazier, folks, which is why I just thought I'd pop up. This isn't being done for your health, folks, and the level of propaganda is just through the roof. But they're really just trying to isolate people. That's what all of this is about. Isolation, getting people scared of each other. So many people are scared. The problem is with our society is that it's often like what I refer to as three pathogens that manage our thinking. And one of them is the economic pathogen, whereby we believe that we measure people by how much money they have in the bank and how much their economic worth is. The other is the social pathogen, whereby we measure people by their social status, and we judge people by the size of their front doors, and we think that we are our stuff. But we're not.
No, we're not.
We're this unique experience, and we think that if we collect all this stuff and climb to the top of the pile, there's actually going to be something there. But there isn't.
Truth is subjective, depending on what you want to believe, and that belief is the enemy of knowledge. These are two really important things. And something else I've always said is that you can have no stake in the outcome. How can you have a globe, and how can you have a flat, and how can you have a holographic universe? Because that's the reality. I mean, the globe universe, or the globe Earth, the flat Earth, the holographic universe, the fractal universe, the electric universe, they all fit together, and they all coexist at the same time. But a lot of people are just empty portals. That's the way they are. The most difficult thing for people is when they discover the depth of the deception that we're facing in the world today, just how all-pervasive this matrix is, and just what the matrix is. What really holds this whole system in place? It's simply our belief that the system is real, and our belief in words that are written down on paper. The Earth that we live on is a globe. It's a beautiful globe Earth. But the Earth that we operate on is also flat, and I'm going to try to explain this to you. And you can have two truths. It depends on what your belief system is. And our looks at how virtual reality is created as well. I mean, we think it's going to be all these computers we build and they're going to transfer our consciousness into a mainframe and rah. Yeah, they are. That's what they want to do. But the question is how they're going to do that.
And I don't think we're ever going to be able to deal with these problems until people realize that's the real problem, is that we've got a bunch of criminals running this world and we're being politically correct about it. We've got to stop that. Stop playing by their rules.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of kind of self-censorship. We're seeing a lot of political friendly talk, PC talk. We're seeing that encouragement. But what do you think are some of the biggest problems we as humanity are facing today?
Well, look, obviously the problem is government, but really it's us. I mean, we always put the blame on someone else. You want someone to point the finger at. I think the problem is our lack of self-responsibility and our lack of belief in ourselves and our own power. That's the biggest problem that we've got. If we can point the finger at everybody else and say, please fix it, but we've got to act ourselves. I really firmly believe that if we were to change our perspective and change the way we interact with people, we could change the world from the ground, the way we are, from the ground up, grassroots, just do it from the bottom up. That's how it has to change. That's the big problem. We're looking for someone to blame. The blame has to come with us.
I mean, the system is essentially held in place by magic. But if you say that to people, they think you're crazy because they don't believe in magic, because they don't know what magic is. And yet magic appears all around them every day. That's what holds the system together. This is how the magic works. This is how the spells work. All of the secret codes and all of the numbers that they put in there, the magic that it creates, all of the symbolism that they put everywhere. There's a certain magic that is created by all of this stuff, which they use to control us. People too often believe themselves to be flawed. I can't do this and I can't do that, and I'm not this and I'm not that. You're given exactly what you need to experience life from the perspective of you. We're taught to fear death. We're taught to be in fear of the unknown and in fear of ever stepping out of our comfort zone. So they put us in these cities and all these things. I think this great saying, if you throw yourself to the wind, you can ride it. You know, and that's what I've been doing for my whole life. So I think that's what it's about, brother. I mean, I think if people could just discover that value in themselves and live cooperatively, we could turn this world into anything we wanted. The sky would be the absolute limit. It's held together purely due to people's belief that the system is real. And this belief is held together by people's belief in the legal system. And this is held together in turn by people's belief in the written word.
This time is so important what's happening to humanity. Like, I think we've been given a choice. We can go in either one of two directions. And we really have to put down the fear and realize that the choice is ours to make. A lot of people aren't seeing that. They're waiting to be saved. And I think that's a big problem. People have to realize what's happening and embrace it themselves. I think a lot of what we're seeing here, I mean, humanity is right on a cusp at the moment. We really could go in either direction. You know, with all the technology that's coming online, it's all very well to think that, well, this can just free us. But unfortunately, people's hubris may get them into a little bit of trouble, because you've got to take into account the fact that the world is run by criminals who simply don't want to free us. And that is currently who's in control of a lot of the technology. So it's time for people to really step up to the plate with this and realize that we have to start embracing this ourselves, and we have to be the ones that are pushing in the direction that we want.
They put these secret codes everywhere, they put their Freemason signs everywhere, they put their obelisks everywhere, they do everything according to geometrical patterns. And they do it for not just because of the reason that it sets up an energy grid and they've got this dark circle of magic going on, and this is their symbolism that they use, but it also serves as a way of controlling us. There's a wonderful quote by Plato that said you should never teach a child through harshness, but you should always observe them so you can find out what the particular genius of each child is. That's what people need to do, is find out what their genius is and be all that they can be to the greatest of their potential.
But really, you know, we've been trained to view ourselves as being little people who can't make great change, who can't have powerful thoughts. You know, but we're not like that. We're real people. I always say that anything that we see in the world today, every problem that we've got, every good thing that humanity's ever done, every bad thing humanity's ever done, has been the result of a thought that somebody had, a spark of thought in their mind that they shared with someone else, it resonated, and it became reality for everybody else. But we've been trained to believe that we can't have those great thoughts. We're just little people. But there's no such thing as little people. Everybody can have these great thoughts. All there exists is just people. Government is just people. Yep. It's just guys we employ to manage things for us. They're all abusing their office, and we think they need to change it. They're the ones who fucked it up. They're not going to change it. We have to change what we believe we are. Yep. That's the biggest problem we got.